Hi, Brian and Linda. Thanks for coming by. Brian. We'll start here in just a second. Got a couple more people coming in. There's no need to hurry. It's hot enough. Eugene.
So you'll find something. Y'all. Let me think about it.
All right, let's go do this. Welcome, everybody, to the Wednesday night loving kindness meditation. My name is Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you tonight, as it is every night that I'm here. Hello to everybody in person, everybody online. We've been doing this a really long time, and this seems to be working out really well, doing online and in-person classes. Thank you all for being here. So we have a couple of people I know that are new to either Dharma Bum Temple or just to Wednesday. So who's new to the Dharma Bum Temple? Awesome. I know you brought your friends. That's nice. How did you find out about us?
Oh, I know this neighborhood.
Oh, nice. And you finally just decided to come on in. I love it. Thank you. And how many people not new to the Dharma Bum Temple, but this is maybe your first time at the Wednesday class? Just you. Nice. Thank you. Thank you for being here. What we do here is just we're going to have this short introduction. I'm going to read to you the Metasutra, and I'll talk about what that is in just a minute. So the class here is a class on loving kindness. And in the Buddhist world, the word we're talking about is metta. Or if you know anything about Tibetan Buddhism, it's Maitri. So same thing, right? And this word is from the old Pali language, which is a very old language, which is pretty similar to what the historical Buddha spoke, we believe. And this word can mean so many things, when translated into English 2,500 years later. It could be loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill, inoffensiveness, harmony, concord, all those wonderful words. And it's simply a wish to be happy, a wish for ourselves to be happy, a wish for others to be happy, and a wish for ourselves and others to do the things that cause happiness. Right? So this is an action-based spiritual practice. It's not just sitting in meditation, just with this kind of choiceless awareness kind of thing going on. Whether we're sitting in meditation, we're actively doing things in meditation. And, the idea is to bring this action out into our lives, to make our lives better and to make the lives of others better. Right? So if you know what causes happiness, you just need to look to the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple. And the motto of the Dharma Bum Temple is think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. Now, this is not you don't hear this just in Buddhism. So many other spiritual practices, they use this terminology too, and they use that very specific phrase. And this applies in Buddhism as well. So we want ourselves to be happy, we want to take care of ourselves, and we want to wish others to be happy and wish that they do the things that cause happiness. Because if you do the things that cause you happiness and they do the things that cause them happiness, then your metta, your loving kindness will never interfere with theirs. Right? Because metta is non-harming, not harming to yourself and not harming to others. And so the way we do this meditation here at the Dharma Bum Temple is we're first going to do this meditation for our benefactor. And a benefactor, again, is anyone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Right? Someone that's really easy to have these feelings for. If you think of a person and you're just kind of unsure, then pick somebody else. Right? This should be really, really easy. It could be mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, some person on TV who you really like. It doesn't matter. They could be living, they could be not living. There's a lot of flexibility here. So, just choose someone, right? And then we're going to imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And the only thing that we need to do is just let all of their loving kindness into our heart. The reason they're a benefactor is because we already have the experience of their love and kindness. So we just have to recall that and just accept all of that into your heart again. So after we do that, then we're going to do this practice for ourselves, and then we're going to do this practice for all beings. The Buddha said that, you have this potential, this seed, this ability to include everyone in your loving kindness, whether you like them or not, whether you know them or not. So we're going to explore this limitless quality by doing this practice for all beings. And then we'll end, and then we'll have like a question and answer ceremony session. But what I'd like to do first before we start this is I would like to read the Buddha's words on loving kindness. And this is called this is the Buddha's talk on loving kindness. This is his words from 2,500 years ago. It says, "This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest thing that the wise would later reprove. Wishing, in gladness and in safety, may all beings be at ease. Whatever living beings there may be, whether they are weak or strong, omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short, or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born, may all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another. Even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child, so with a boundless heart should one cherish all living beings, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depths, outwards and unbounded, freed from hatred and ill will, whether standing or walking, seated or lying down, free from drowsiness, one should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the sublime abiding. By not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, being freed from all sense desires, is not born again into this world. I love reading that. So we're going to think about that too. And so, when we start the meditation, we're going to spend just a few minutes just getting connected to the breath first, and then we'll begin our meditation on loving kindness. So I want you to think a little bit about those words of the Buddha 2,500 years ago when doing this meditation. All right, any questions before we start? All righty. Let's begin. So just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that nice position, that nice seated position that's comfortable and sustainable for you. And when we sit like a Buddha. And you can even imagine yourselves as a Buddha sitting underneath your own tree of enlightenment, because each historical Buddha has their own tree of enlightenment, ready for the days abiding on loving kindness, this unconditional friendship, goodwill. So at first, we're just going to get connected to the breath, because you always want to make sure you have at least about 25% of your attention on the breath, just making sure that you're connected to the present moment, and that you're doing this meditation. So let's just take a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. Not forcing it, letting it be quite easy and quite natural at first. And after a few breaths, you can experiment with what kind of breath is going to keep you connected to the present. Maybe it's a longer inhale or a shorter inhale, or a longer exhale or a shorter exhale. And it's okay to experiment with what's going to work for you. Just allow these words, my guidance, to allow these words just to kind of just roll over you. Just don't stress about them. So just for the next few moments, just rest as gently as you can in the sensations of the breath. So to begin our practice of loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, and goodwill, we're going to start with our benefactor. And again, a benefactor is just anyone who's shown you great love and great kindness. So just think of this person, call this person to mind. And you can do this in a couple of different ways. You can just radiate loving kindness to this person, wishing them happiness, wishing them health, wishing that they do the things that cause happiness. Or you can just repeat phrases of loving kindness for them silently to yourself. Phrases like, may you be happy. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. You could do it either way. It always helps to smile when you do that too. Smiling helps throughout this whole practice of loving kindness. It kind of puts the mind in a good mood. If you want, you could also put your hand over your heart. However you want to do it. So for the next few moments, we'll do this practice of loving kindness for our benefactor. Now shifting our focus just a little bit from doing this for our benefactor to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. And again, all we need to do is just let all of their loving kindness into our heart. So you already have the experience of their love and kindness already. So you know what that feels like. Just imagining them radiating loving kindness to you or repeating phrases of loving kindness to you and just letting all of that in. If there's any part of you that feels tension or tightness in any part of your body, can you just breathe? Directing the breath energy towards that part of the body and just seeing if that loosens a little bit. And let more of their loving kindness in. It can be the same benefactor, it could be a different one. It doesn't matter. So we'll just imagine our benefactor now doing this practice for us. Shifting our focus again, probably the most important part of this meditation is the ability to do this practice and have loving kindness for ourselves. If we can have this feeling in our own heart, if we can know what this feels like, if we can experience it for ourselves, we would never harm ourselves again. We would never harm another person again. It would be this endless wellspring of love and kindness that would just naturally flow from you. And an important part of that possibility, is to begin to do this practice for yourself. And you can either imagine your heart getting bigger and warmer, wishing yourself happiness, wishing you do the things that cause happiness. Or you can just repeat these phrases of love and kindness for yourself. May I be happy. May I be safe from inner and outer danger. May I be well in body and mind. May I be at peace and live at ease in this world. We'll do this for the next few moments. And finally, we can explore this limitless potential of the heart to include all beings in our practice of loving kindness, to have our heart be so expansive, so open, that it just naturally includes everybody. So, if we want to do this practice for all beings in all directions, you can do that. Or if you want to direct it to a specific group of people, that's okay too. We'll do that. We'll explore this limitless quality of the heart as the final part of our meditation. Just open your eyes when you're ready. Let us take the next moment or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs, keeping that mindfulness of loving kindness about you, not letting it go. Keeping that with you as you stretch and reflect on your meditation. So we'll just take the next minute and do that, and then we'll begin. Okay. Well, that was good for me. I always like saying that because I've done it a while, and it's wonderful, and I like doing this meditation, and I like doing this meditation with you when there's a lot of people in the room. It really helps a lot. So again, this is the kind of a question and answer ceremony. I'll ask a few questions here. First, any questions on the instructions at all? Hopefully they were relatively straightforward, but if not, that's okay. And then, I really like to know what your experience of meditation is, because like every breath, every meditation is different. You'll never take, our strategy in Buddhism is that every breath you take is unique. It's like a snowflake, right? And that's one way that we get interested in the breath and stay connected to the breath, is by understanding each and individual breath. And it's kind of the same way when you do a meditation. Every time you do a meditation, or every time you do a loving kindness meditation, it's going to be a little different than the previous one, and a little different than any other one you've ever done. And so I'm always interested to know what your experience of meditation is, or was. Any parts that were easier or more difficult, anything that came up in your meditation that maybe you weren't expecting, or anything that was wonderful about it that was easier than you were expecting, or whatever it might be. Anyone want to share what their experience? I'd love to hear it.
I just want to say I really appreciate the instruction, the level of support you gave us, the timing of the segments. My experience with meditation in general has been, I kind of discovered it as part of the recovery from drugs and alcohol, and that's how I got connected to Dharma monks downtown years ago. For this meditation, and I still have this, I will find myself that I'll do fine, and then I drift off, and I am off for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably a factor that I end up doing meditation maybe once a week or so, and I just don't have all that discipline coming back. It's takes a bit, and I just found myself with my benefactor thinking about other things with that person. It was still beneficial things, it was good thoughts, but it was not on topic. And to be honest, like I think I'm probably 40% on focus right now.
Yeah, 40% is actually really good.
So.
Yeah. So, the thing about that is, as someone who's also a sober person, sometimes sober people like to think of themselves as different than other people, especially when it comes to meditation, and we're not. The only thing that's different of us is our relationship to drugs and or alcohol and or whatever it is, your drug of choice, whatever that might be. But other than that, the difficulties of meditation are kind of universal, especially to anyone who hasn't experienced this before or who came to this later in life. Later being anywhere in their 20s and beyond. I've been meditating a while, just been meditating a while, and we have the same problem. There are plenty of times where I'm like 10% there because I just have a lot of stuff going on. So I used to meditate in the morning, and this is an interesting thing about my practice. I used to meditate in the morning for a long time, and the morning is a really wonderful time for me to meditate because my head is clear. So I used to get up and take a shower, and so my body would be awake. I would be awake. And then I would get on the mat and I would do my meditation, and it was fun. Some days, like any meditation practice, some days are more concentrated than the other. And now, for some reason, over the last couple of years or so, I meditate. I guess I'm getting up later. I don't know. I meditate in the evening. And it is hard. It is hard because my head is just so full of the day. My head is full of the day's activities. What I did, what I didn't do, what I got done, what I didn't get done, all those different types of things, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, and so I'm gonna think I'm just gonna go back because it's just. This is not what I want. This is not super peaceful. But the great thing that I really like about people who grew up in Buddhist countries, right? So they got introduced to meditation and Buddhist practice really early, and it's just been a part of their life. Is they know something that we don't, that we never take into account, and that's why they're just so more chill than we are about Buddhism. They know that this practice is a multi-lifetime effort. They know that, hey, this is probably not going to happen in this lifetime, that I'm going to be enlightened and never come back again. Like the Buddha or any other enlightened person. And so they know it's going to take several lifetimes, however long it's going to take. And they know that, and so that way they're not so fixated on, doing, on progress. Like, where am I now? Where am I? Am I a little bit enlightened now? Am I like 10% enlightened now? What is that thing? And they know this is going to take a while, so they're more relaxed about it, and it really helps their practice. Whereas there's this thing called Meditators Disease. And it only happens with Western monastics who get involved with Buddhism and hear about the teachings and just want to be enlightened so bad that they meditate so hard that they have these debilitating headaches and migraines and other types of physical issues because they're trying to get enlightened in this one lifetime. It's called Meditators Disease, right? And again, it's pretty much limited to Western monastics, not even Western lay people, but Western monastics. So that's a really interesting thing to to help us just kind of relax with this practice. Just do your best. Just do your best. And it's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sober too. One thing about as far as I'm concerned, we have to be sober if we want to meditate. You have to be sober if you want to be present.
Right.
I've been present for a couple of days. And I meditated for a while, all over different parts of in Europe. I've been on retreats less than 17 days. But I still have this mind. I still have this freaking mind.
Yeah.
So even in meditation, depending on the session, this was a great session. I probably say 40-50%. I stay focused.
Yeah.
I get my breath. But I still have this mind that constantly wants to.
Mm-hmm.
But and really, I want my mind to be used for just practical things. Stay here most of the time. But it's a constant. I don't want to say battle. It's a constant awareness. Get back to your breath. Get back to the present.
Right.
I know you're there, mind. But yeah, it doesn't. It change each session will be different depending on how my day went. But my experience with meditation and silent retreats, which are walking and sitting and working, that after the 7 or 10 days is so strange. It's like it could have been 10 days. Really? I've been in silent retreat for 10 days. It takes me a couple days to come back to this world.
Right.
So I'll continue doing this practice, and I know that it will just be a continuum that will go like this. And I'll be aware that that mind is not real. It's nothing but thoughts.
Yeah.
Get back to here.
Yeah, and that's the thing, when you were talking, when you were speaking, let's kind of share first, Dan, thank you, appreciate that. There was another thing that kind of came to mind, and my teacher, Tanjef, he talks about this a lot, because like what I told you is true, but by the same token, it's like you always have to ask yourself, okay, well, what could I do to make this more concentrated? Yes, I need to be easy on myself about this. However, I can still ask myself, okay, well, what do I need to do? Do I need to meditate at a different time? Do I need to meditate for a different time? Do I need to have it be more quiet? Do I have to, what is that thing that I have to do to make these meditations more concentrated and more useful and more productive? So it's okay to, always experiment with your practice and just do different things to see, hey, what's going to work? Because you might find something that works a lot better, but it'll only work a lot better for the next year or so, and then you're going to have to find something else. That's the wonderful part about this practice is that there's so much flexibility that the Buddha is giving you with a lot of these practices and a lot of these strategies and a lot of these ways to look at things. That's why like Travis's class on Thursday is so good. It's not a meditation class, but he talks about what the Buddha's teachings are from the Theravada perspective, about different strategies that we can have, especially not to take things so personally. I think that's a lot of kind of what we do, especially if we have like an unconcentrated meditation and we get really, really down on ourselves. We take it really personally. So we have a lot of strategies to kind of combat all of that. And it's the Buddha's teachings that are just vast. I mean, if you take a look, in our library, there's plenty of books that talk about that. Like I said, Travis's class on Thursday is helpful with that. And a lot of times I forget to go back and read because I have all that stuff at home. A lot of that stuff in the library I have at home. And I can easily refer to that. And whenever I pick up one of those books and I just start to read, it's like, oh yeah, okay, this I remember now. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to reference. is there any part of this meditation that you've done, that you did today, that was more difficult than you remember, or maybe just more difficult this time?
I'm not sure. Well, I wanted to start with saying that I'm originally from New York, and so it took me, I started meditating in my early 20s,
Yeah.
and it took me a very long time, like forever, to now, to be able to sit still. I think the rhythm that I grew up with was so fast
Yeah.
that just sitting it felt impossible.
Yeah.
So being able to sit still now feels really nice, and I think I also have always meditated in the mornings, and I feel like there's been an impatience, like what's coming next, what's moving, like this is not, like I got other important things to get going with, so let's cut that meditation short. I really like being here this evening and meditating in the evening.
Yeah.
Because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I feel like I've slowed down.
Yeah.
I felt like it was easier to sit still.
Yeah.
I feel very calm right now. But it was interesting when I had to think of a particular benefactor, I could not rest on one. And so I was like, I was thinking of the group, many people. And so with each breath, I was like going around like the circle, saying, giving my love to each person.
Yeah.
But it was interesting to not be able to come up with one person.
That's fantastic. That's again the flexibility you're allowed.
Yeah.
It's like, if you want to do that, fantastic. That's a lot of benefactors, a lot of loving kindness that you can draw upon, right? So perfect. That's lovely. And isn't it interesting that you're the opposite of me, where it's just easier for you in the evening, just because you have calmed down, because you're so, I guess, anxious in the morning for what you have to do during the day. And it's just, with 8 billion people, there's 8 billion minds and 8 billion ways of relating to things and looking at things, and different brain chemistries and neurons and synapses, and I don't know all the terminology, but we're all just different, and that's and that's okay. Just do what's going to work for you. I can't really meditate. Like, I can meditate here because I'm leading it and I have to, and I like that there's other people in here. And so we're all meditating on loving kindness, and so that just feels good. It feels good to have all of you here and have all these people online, with me, us together meditating on loving kindness. That's fantastic. I love that. But like at my home practice, no, it'll be just better. All right, so we're going to end here in just a second, but before that, we have some announcements that we'd like to make. Online folks, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. We're going to end the live stream now. Thank you for being here. Cliff, you want to come up? See Brian and Linda, see Jean.
Hello, everyone. I'm Cliff. We opened the Dharma Temple 15 years ago to introduce Buddhist practice to those who show up. Those who are really either not